Hey everybody, it's time for what I hope is dessert, the Skillet Donut Stout from Burial. This is an 8% stout with lactose and coffee in it, and they say they use a lot of stuff in here. 9 barley malts, oats, molasses, milk sugars, and let's see, freshly roasted counterculture coffee beans. They don't say what kind of coffee beans. I found that depending on the beans, I might like it or might kind of not. But usually if there's lactose involved, it can smooth it out for me with the dark beers and be pretty good. I had their griddle imperial stout, the stronger one, and that was pretty good. I enjoyed that. Ooh, it's not very dark. What a lot of people on Untappd have said is that this is kind of thin, but it's an 8% stout. It's not ridiculously dark. It seems like they're not going for the biggest super rich thing ever. Like most stouts that are honestly under 10% don't get the greatest ratings, especially the ones that are supposed to be these sweet, rich ones. And I can still kind of see a ruby hue in that. And when I was pouring, the stream was not super dark at all. Got some on my nose. But that smells like really nice sweet coffee. I like the aroma a lot. The date on this is kind of messed up. It looks like it was January 1st, or January 17. So less than 2 months old. Fresh for a beer like this. And the coffee aroma is definitely intact. It's sweet, chocolatey, smells a lot like a mocha. It doesn't seem like they used too dark of a coffee. It's not like Italian roast or anything. Kind of espresso-y, but like chocolate covered espresso beans. And it definitely has a milky thing going on. It smells just like, nicely creamed coffee, like cold brew coffee maybe like sort of a dark roast, but cold brew, so it's not as bitter. Head's sticking around pretty well. It's still pretty sweet, but yeah, it's not a ridiculously rich, thick body. It doesn't have as much body as even like Founder's Breakfast Stout, and they do refer to this as a breakfast stout on the can. I think I saw it somewhere. Well, there's a nice little char that comes in the finish, but I wasn't quite expecting. It seemed like it had a really nice dark, super dark coffee aroma a little bit, but it doesn't fall through with the bitterness. You just get that kind of in the flavor. It's very enjoyable though. It's pretty easy to down for 8%. Maybe they could just use a little less lactose and then take the ABV down to like 7.5, and it would be nicer. Or probably everyone just like this if they just amped up the alcohol and the sugars at the same time, or amp up the original gravity. Because I could see this one easily becoming something really, really beloved. And the griddle I think has pretty good ratings. Maybe higher than this one. I'm not sure. They just have a great name with this Skillet Donut. It says 60 IBUs, and it's got a lot of roastiness, but there's no like noticeable hop flavors or strong like piney hop bitterness or any of that. Though it's not super thick and really full-bodied, it is kind of a little bit luxurious on the tongue, kind of silky. I'm not too disappointed by it, honestly. If you want something that packs the flavor of Imperial Coffee Stout, but isn't insanely strong and sweet, this is a good beer to go for. You could call it like a session pastry stout, perhaps, because most pastry stouts these days, as people call it, pastry stouts, are really, really strong. Most are over 10%, often around 12. But I'm pretty happy with the body of this. The lactose gives it, pretty nice, smooth, velvety quality. and it has then all the roast of the coffee, but it's not too bitter. You probably have to be a coffee fan to like this beer, but you probably won't be watching this video if you don't like coffee and coffee beers, especially because it's called Skillet Donut Stout. So, actually, I guess Skillet Donut doesn't say coffee on that. You might more think that they have actual donuts in this, but there are not. I think they just mean that it would go with stuff you're eating from a skillet and a donut. This is not cold conditioned on cast iron skillets, unfortunately. That would make it really gross. But I think it's a really well-made beer. I would give it probably about a 4. I would recommend it, and maybe next year if I come across a can and I'm in the mood, I'd definitely pick it up again. Goodbye.